All right, gang, here we are. We're in 4-3. Now on this one, we're going to validate or confirm if a student has met the criteria to be accepted into a school or rejected based on either their GPA or their test score. So let's go ahead and start our code out. We're going to start out, we'll declare a double, and we'll call it GPA. And our next one will have an integer, and we'll call it test score. And let's come up with what we're going to compare it to. And that'll be our constants. So the constant for the two values. All right, let's start out with min GPA, and it's going to be a double. So min GPA, and that'll equal 3.0. Now we're going to do it this way rather than putting a static value in our comparison. This way, if we ever change the criteria, any place that it's referenced, we only need to change it here in this location of this double. We'll come up with more constants. Integer, we'll call it admin 1 equals 60, and admin 2 equals 80. Okay, so with that said, let's come up with the string that they actually input in for us. And we'll call that an input string. Let's give it a value with our write line. Receive that in. So, what do we want to receive in? Well, let's say enter your grade point average. And there we go. I'll go ahead and hit the semicolon, come down a line. And we'll do our input string equals read line. And then we're going to take whatever's in that input string, and we're going to say GPA, and we're going to do a new way of converting what we receive. And instead of parsing it, let's do a convert dot, and we'll do 2 double. And what we're going to convert to a double will be that input string. And I don't need to retype it. I can just copy it and paste it in there. So I received whatever was input, and I converted it to a double, typo there, and stored it into GPA. Now let's take those same 3 lines, and we'll paste them down here, and enter your test score. And that'll go into the input string again, and we'll convert that to int 32, and that is, instead of GPA, that's test score. So now I've received the values in, and you see we went about a different way of converting it. Instead of parsing it, we use the toInt32 function that's part of the convert class. So I can convert things using functionalities built into it, and it's much like the parse. So now that we have that, we can do our if. And what's our if? If GPA is greater than or equal to min GPA, if that is the case, We'll come down and we'll do a nested if. If test score is greater than equal to admin 1, enter. Right line, open and close, open and close. And they said accept. Is what we had to say. Now, go ahead and terminate that right line. And let's do an else. Down. Oop. It's not right. There we go. So else, we want a right line of reject. So I'll copy that, paste it in here, and put our reject in there. So let's come down. Now we've got another else. On this else, let's do that same test score. Now we're admin 2 the same way. Now, let's go ahead and run this and see what happens. Well, it's hanging up on the compiler. Let's look over here. We'll run some checks and see what it says over here for us. It says it doesn't like it. Let's look and see what we've done. Try it again. I've got a typo in here somewhere. It says line 3. There we go. Right there, I've got a typo. Okay, let's run it again. And it says it's still got a problem. Let's find out. It still has that. I've got that typo everywhere. All right, and one more time. There we go. GPA, I'll say 4.0. Test score 82. Accept. Let's go see again how we did over here. Just a little typo that I had. I somehow put an E in input string. Now it's happy with what I've done. And good, right on down the line. Now, we've not only done the conditional like we did before, but we've nested conditionals. Checked against two different scores. Enter the grade point average. We could have said different things along the way. We converted rather than using the parse. We used the functionality in convert to be able to do that. Now, it could be to double or to N32. Excuse me. Excuse me. So, with that, we're all squared away on this one. Go ahead and see you in the next one, which is 4-4.